Hello, everyone. Justin Vacula here from the Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast, helping you make money, save money, and travel the world at next to no cost. A few months ago, I released a podcast episode critical of Dave Ramsey, who often has a lot of negative things to say about credit and credit cards, and much of what I thought was inaccurate information. A lot of Dave Ramsey fans have said, oh, it's the wrong audience, Justin. The comments that he makes aren't for you, which is missing the point of inaccurate information the Ramsey Show is putting out, and some misleading information, some weird things that they have to say about credit, which leads me, in addition to a previous episode I've released, Dave Ramsey misses the point. There's this new-ish video, The Dirty Little Secret of Credit Card Rewards. God help you if you can sleep at night. So I'll try a different format here and do a live reaction to the video. So let's go ahead and listen to what the Dave Ramsey Show has to say.
Okay, so New York Times comes out in a couple days ago. The New York Times, the dirty little secret of credit card reward.
So like right from the get-go here, it's a common thing of poisoning the well that we're going to introduce this topic of credit card rewards. It's a dirty little secret. There's a dirty thing going on. So let's listen to what they have to say.
Reward programs.
Wow.
Now, for years, I've been saying they work. They absolutely do work. And people always call us and like, oh, you telling me that you don't take free flights? And they for sure do. If you're just swiping the card, I got a buddy who puts 100% of his life on these cards. Everything on the card. So that, and he pays it off every month. And he just does it for the free miles or free whatever.
Sure.
That's a real thing that happens.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
most people don't pay it off every month, and they're like, no, I was just going to, bro, and they don't. But fair enough.
Okay, so his friend does it. His friend is fine, but then they're bringing up something. Oh, well, most people don't pay off the balances. Okay, well, if you're not paying the balances, you're not getting the rewards at a positive acquisition here. Like if you're paying 20% interest and then you're getting the rewards, obviously it's not worth it. So fine. So Dave Ramsey Show, let's talk about being mindful. Let's talk about being smart with credit, and let's not pay interest. So if your friend does it, if your friend is swiping cards, getting reward points, traveling for free, as he said, although maybe low cost is a better explanation here, then yes, absolutely use credit for all your purchases, but only if you could be responsible and pay it off. So what's the problem then? You're carrying a balance, you're paying interest. Obviously you're not winning if you're doing that. So why don't we talk about how to do that? Why don't we talk about that Dave Ramsey Show? Let's only put things on cards we can afford. But Dave Ramsey doesn't want to tell you that. Dave Ramsey is saying, oh, don't even have any credit cards. Have a 0 credit score. So at least this guy comes on the show and saying like, yeah, it actually does work. So let's hear some more here.
Fair enough. There are people who do.
Yep.
And
a lot of people do.
My buddies were always
a lot of people win.
Surprised that I didn't participate. And
Correct.
It wasn't me trying to take a moral high ground or anything like that.
Yeah, why aren't you participating? Dave Ramsey Show, oh, we're America's Voice on Money. We're these financial experts. So why aren't you participating? Why aren't you playing the game here and getting the rewards? You're using cash and debit and probably getting 0% back on all your purchases. So let's hear some more.
But I didn't want to participate in this program because I knew that these credit card companies are not my friend.
They're not your friend.
They don't.
Okay, yes. The credit card companies aren't your friend. They're looking to make money. And what they're going to get into here is like, oh, well, look, there's some dark things about the credit card companies. They're not your friend. Well, there could be a mutually beneficial relationship. When you swipe your cards, when you make transactions, the credit card company is making some money on those transactions for the most part. And there are some people we'll get into in this video that do lose and do pay interest. So, okay, the credit card company might not be your quote-unquote friend, but you can still earn rewards even if other people are losing. So why would you not participate in something to gain money if other people are losing? Let's hear what they have to say.
They don't like me. They're not hooking me up because I'm hooking them up. It's not like, yeah, bro, let's do this.
But that's not true. You're hooking them up. They're hooking you up. They're making some money off of you using the card, and you're making money too. Why does it have to be like the bank has to be this benevolent thing where they're not making any money? Like, okay, I go to a local auto store and I pay the person to fix my car. We could be friendly, even though they're making money off of me. It's not this charitable thing. There's a mutual benefit. So what's so bad about that?
So we're in this together. I'll buy some stuff. You give me free flights. That's not how it works.
No, that is how it works.
Somebody is paying for my flights.
Yes,
and as I dug into it,
the people who pay interest are paying, but the bank is also making some money on you as well.
years ago, it appeared to me
yes,
that the single mom with 3 kids who can't float the price of eggs and the increase in gas.
Okay, well, if you can't float the payments, then you really shouldn't be putting that on credit cards if you can't afford and pay it in full at the end of the balance. But guess what? Credit cards are going to help you float because you get at minimum like 31 days to pay the balance in full. But again, if you can't pay it in full when the due date comes, then don't use credit. Okay, why don't we talk, Dave Ramsey Show? Only use it if you could be responsible and pay the balance in full. And guess what? I can earn reward points using credit cards at local grocery stores. Weiss Markets here in Pennsylvania, I'm buying gift cards with credit, and the price of 18 eggs goes down to $2.99. So because I'm using credit and buying gift cards, I can save money on groceries.
Gas prices.
So I've had multiple episodes here about using credit to earn grocery reward points to pay 0 for gas, or after a little bit of flip of selling gift cards, I'm paying very, very little. But the Dave Ramsey Show, oh, don't use credit at all. Don't do that. It's all evil. But then all these people are missing out on the rewards. They're missing out on the gas. They're missing out on the egg discount. They're missing out on so much more. And it's not only these little things. It actually makes a really significant thing. If I can reduce the cost of gas and groceries to next to nothing, that's fantastic. That's 2 big budget items for many people.
Natural gas prices.
Yep.
She was paying for my flights because she was having to put the stuff on a credit card conceivably to survive. Right. And so my free flight.
Well, maybe not. I mean, are there other ways that she doesn't have to use credit to go on this? And if it's really a matter of survival that, okay, well, your kid isn't going to have medicine and they're going to perish, then I don't know. Maybe at some point you want to utilize that credit. So yeah, okay, there are people who are paying interest to pay for your flights. Yeah, I think that's just going to happen in so many areas of life. Look, the grocery store is offering this doorbuster that you can buy paper towels today for 99 cents, and normally they're $4. But there are going to be some other people that go in the grocery store and buy all this extra stuff they don't need. But because of that, should I not get the 99-cent paper towels? Like, yeah, in many areas, people are going to lose. Like, I can go to a bar and drink alcohol responsibly. Some people will go in there and drink too much and become alcoholic. So should I not drink anything because some people might have a problem with alcohol?
Flights were being paid for by people who had way less and were struggling to make it.
Yeah, that's some of the case. Or there are some people who are just overspending and getting stuff that they don't need.
And turns out
your hunch
was right.
Turned into studies and data.
Okay, let's
That's
hear
incredible.
This is wild.
Okay, tell us about this.
Yep.
Okay. So it goes on to talk about, hey, these swipes you're using to get first class airfare and trips and all your.
So they do admit that we can be profitable in the credit card rewards game, which is very different than Dave Ramsey, who's like, oh, you're going to spend more than everything and you're going to go into debt and blah, blah, blah. So at least now they're being a little bit more honest and saying, yes, we can come out ahead. But now they're going to make this moral argument about why we shouldn't be participating in the game. Interesting, the pods, moving and storage, they're partnered with pods. So imagine all the people who get a storage facility like that and don't actually use it, and they're just paying out each month for storage costs. So because some people are losing money on storage and not really utilizing it, should we then not play ball with pods and never have a relationship with them because some people lose money and some people forget about the storage that they have? Is that
rewards? It's not from nothing. The credit card perks for educated, usually urban pros, are subsidized by people who have less.
Okay, well, that's part of it, but it's not all people who have less. Again, it's going to be people who are overspending, people who aren't paying attention, people who aren't being responsible with credit. It's not this like, oh, well, the poor people are losing everything and we're able to fly on them. And even if that's the case, that some people are paying interest, that some people are going into debt, why should I not do it? Like, what's the problem here?
So poor consumers are ultimately footing the bill. And in 2022, the Federal Reserve data showed that the cost of rewards as a share of total transaction volume on these credit cards increased 25% from 2015 through 2021. And so what's interesting, John, is the data was so clear in this study. It showed that $15 billion in reward value moved from the poor to the rich. From the
the rich, I don't know about that because there are many people who are middle class, middle income. I'm not a rich person by any means, but I'm able to win the game. I've had many podcast guests, many people that I chat with who take these first class flights, who travel in luxury, travel in style, they get the rewards. I don't see it as a transfer from the poor to the rich. Maybe that's the case for some of it, But you don't need to be rich to win this game. You don't need to be rich to participate. You just have to be on top of your finances. It helps to have a little bit of capital back, but being rich, I don't think that's really a case here.
Sophisticated folks who couldn't pay their bills on time to the affluent wealthy. And no, normal people go, well, yeah, that's how the system is set up, John. So I'm just going to take it.
I mean, in some cases, if there's a corporation like Amazon that's paying people maybe $15 an hour, but they're making more than that hiring people, like, oh, Amazon, the corporation, they're so terrible because they pay people only $15 and the shareholders make a lot more. Like, are we going to boycott Amazon too? Like, how far is this going to go, Dave Ramsey Show?
Advantage of that. Why would I not?
Yeah.
But here's what's wild. A lot of the people that come at us going, I can't believe John's trying to use this moral angle to say it's not coming from people who have less than. It's coming from swipe fees from the businesses.
Yeah, that actually is a part of it, that these credit card issuers will charge the businesses a certain amount. So if you're using debit and you're using cash, you're paying those swipe fees and you're getting absolutely nothing back for it. So imagine, okay, well, the grocery store will sell the paper towels for $1, and part of that is the swipe fees that they build, like the 10 cents into it, 5 cents. And over a long time, like, you might think it's a little bit, but that can add up as the merchants are including swipe fees in transactions. But if you're using debit, you're using cash, you're getting nothing back and you're paying the swipe fees. So let's listen to some more here.
And interchange fees and my annual fees. But correct. I looked at capital.
Well, excuse me, the annual fees are something that the consumer is paying on credit cards, not the merchant. So I'm not sure why he mentions the annual fees, unless there are some fees that the merchant has to pay every year in addition to the percentages.
Ones, they put their shareholder reports out every year. Right. And in Q4 of 2022, it turns out that 2/3 of their credit card revenue came from interest and fees.
Okay, interesting. So if it isn't interest and fees, so what? So we're going to continue playing the game. Other people are messing up. Why would we not play the game? Because some people become alcoholics, we should not drink. Because some people have gambling problems, we shouldn't gamble responsibly, especially making money when casino offers promotions. When we could sign up for online gambling sites and receive $500, $1,000 bonuses. Oh, well, don't sign up for those because some people have a gambling problem. And the annual fees, it's really deceptive here. Many people are paying annual fees because they view the annual fees as worthwhile. For instance, I could pay a $95 annual fee on the World of Hyatt credit card, and every year I'm getting an annual free night certificate. And if I spend a certain amount in a year, I get another cert. So I pay $95 annual fee, but I'm getting 2 complimentary nights at a Hyatt property. So would you pay $40 for a night at a really nice Hyatt? I would. Wouldn't you, Dave Ramsey Show? But since Dave Ramsey Show is telling people don't have credit, don't use credit, have a 0 credit score, they're paying full value for this stuff instead of us in the hobby paying next to nothing for travel. So, okay, yeah, annual fees are fees, but there's a good reason many people are paying annual fees.
Not from the interchange, not from the other fees.
But that's part of it. The interchange fees are part of it.
Interest. So 2/3 is blood diamond money.
Yeah. Blood diamond money. Blood diamond money. That's what it is. Okay, interesting.
And let's also, it's also easy to get on a high horse and say, well, they're just making dumb purchases and they don't know.
Yeah, that's some of it. He's even shaking his head on this. I mean, if you're going out and you're spending all this money, you know, oh well, I might as well go out and spend this money just because I have credit. Well, that's a bad place to be. I would love to hear more on the Ramsey Show about being mindful of purchases. I think they talk about that. It's like, oh, let's have some budgeting envelope system and only spend so much in this certain category. So if they're encouraging mindfulness about cash, why not encourage mindfulness about credit? Why don't they talk about that? They're, oh, don't have credit. It's all bad. And now with this moral argument, because some people pay interest, that we can't sleep at night if we have a credit card.
If you've ever spent some time with people on the margins, so many don't know, right? They haven't been told. They're just trying to claw their way out of the world that they found themselves in. And they don't know that it's not normal to roll fees over like this. They don't know that a 30% APR isn't just the price of doing life these days.
Okay, well, hopefully they can get that financial information. And no, 30% isn't the cost of life. Again, just be mindful. Don't overspend on this. And honestly, if you can't be responsible, then don't play the game. But to say, oh, because some people are paying interest, nobody should play the game. Even though at the beginning of the show, the guy's talking, yeah, I have a friend who travels for free. So then don't, because other people are paying interest. Like, why would we not profit from something because other people are making mistakes. Even if you cast these banks as like these super predatory agencies, which I don't think is the case all the time, like, shouldn't it be great to just take money from them and like pull a Robin Hood? You know, you don't like the banks so much, Ramsey show. So hey, how about some people win the game and end up winning versus the banks instead of just not dealing with it and not playing ball at all?
Days, and so I don't know how people can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm comfortable with a single mom trying to scratch through life with her.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be the issue everywhere. There's always going to be some kind of moral injustice, but should we remove ourselves from the game? I mean, I went in my Ford Focus and Ford has had these bad business practices, or, I can't drive Ford anymore. I can't fly anymore because there's some environmental damage. I can't go to Planet Fitness because some people are paying the monthly dues and never going to the gym. Like, how are we going to escape from this? Like, there's going to be some part of life where people lose, or people are paying more money than us for things. Like, should we just not participate at all because there's some people who don't maximize things, or some people who are paying interest, or some people are paying like junk fees on things like gym memberships? I don't really get that. Like, Ramsey is also very critical of timeshare companies, and hey, look, instead of just not dealing with them at all, he was saying don't even sit on a presentation to get a free night, which wasn't the full story because you can often get multiple free nights sitting through the presentation. Like, I'll pay $195, $199 up front, get 4 free nights, get refunded after sitting through the presentation. And yeah, there are going to be some people in there who sign up for the timeshare and pay out all this money they don't have. But should I not take from the timeshare company just because some people happen to lose? I don't really understand that.
They're buying my flights because they're free now.
Well, not really free. Low cost, I think, is more accurate. But yeah, if it's very low cost, if you want to consider it free, Dave Ramsey show, yeah, sure, I'll go on the free flights. If other people are messing up and I can gain from a system, like, am I some moral monster? A dirty little secret. I can't sleep at night. Can't look in the mirror.
I just can't wrap my head around it, George.
Well, and the other problem is we're all paying for this through the.
But you're actually paying for it because you're using cash and debit for your purchases. You're paying the swipe fees. You're paying into all this stuff, and you're getting zero back.
Increased cost of goods. Yes. The United States has some of the highest credit card processing costs in the world.
Yeah, and the rewards are there that can help you offset. But if you're listening to Dave Ramsey show and you're not playing ball at all, you're getting 0% back on your purchases, and you're paying for my fees. You're paying for other people's fees.
Typically 2 to 2.25% on every purchase. Okay. And so the merchants, the businesses, the small businesses, they have to pass these costs on to the consumers by charging more for the products, regardless of how you pay.
Correct.
And you see some of the local merchants.
Yeah. So use credit and get your money back from these swipe fees. But they're saying, just use cash and debit. Like, all right, you're paying for my fees and you're not getting anything.
That will say, here's the price for if you play with a card. Here's the cash price. It's less.
Interesting.
And George, I'm sure it's happened to you more because you're out in the world more than I.
Yeah, and many times when they say there are 2 different prices, like I saw at a dental office I went to, that they're going to be adding a 3% fee for using their mobile pay terminal using credit, or you can use cash and pay no fee. But it's interesting because I have the Altitude Reserve card with US Bank, and it gives me 4.5% back when I use mobile payments. So unfortunately, I'll have to pay that 3% fee in the future, but I'm actually coming up on it 1.5%. It's cutting into the cost a little bit, but I think it'll still be better than me writing a check or giving them cash. So here's some more.
That's true.
But I had my first exchange the other day where I was at a place, I was traveling at a speaking event, and I was out on the road, and they said, we don't take cash here. Okay. And it was like, I'm not gonna do
so he doesn't want to do business with them. So the financial experts of the Dave Ramsey show are like, they don't use credit either because they have this moral problem with it. Oh no, I think when I go to a business and they don't allow me to use credit, I'm less likely to go there. I'd love to get my rewards and spend and not have to flip cash. And like I've seen so many times in places where say, okay, they buy something for like $12.71 total, and there's like a donation bin or a tip bin, and the people who use cash just throw that 29 cents in there. Like they don't even care about the change. So they're actually increasing their spend in a way by just throwing that extra change in the tip jar, donation jar, or whatever is there, which is really interesting. So this business of, if you use cash, you're not going to spend as much, you're going to be more disciplined. Like, I don't know if that's the case. People just throw change away. I see that on a daily basis. Or they'll just round up the tip in some cases and just give that, or however, people just don't deal with change. They just deal in the round amounts in many cases. But let's hear some more.
Business with you, just on principle.
Wow.
Not going to do business.
Well, the data's clear.
Well, it's going to be interesting in the future if you happen to go and check in at a hotel and they're saying, okay, well, you can use a credit card for the incidental fee. Like you're going to have to give them the cash and then deal with getting that back after the case. Or you're booking a flight, you're booking it on a debit card, you have no travel protections whatsoever. Whereas many credit cards I have, if I book hotels, if I book flights, I have travel protections. And it's actually come up a few times, and a friend of mine actually got hit with a car in an airport parking lot, and instead of having to deal with the whole process and having to deal with insurance, this and that, she actually booked it with Chase Sapphire Reserve, and she called Chase and said that she had this incident with the rental vehicle, and Chase just handled the process, and she wasn't responsible for going through this whole thing. So because she booked with credit, that came up. Really, really awesome benefit right there. A lot of benefits that you're getting on credit cards that you're not getting on debit cards, like purchase protection, price adjustments in some cases. I mentioned the trip cancellation, trip delay, reimbursements. There's just so much that you're not getting with cash or credit. Or if you have any kind of fraud that happens on your debit card, your checking account, whatever, you're probably floating the money until that gets resolved. But if you have fraud on a credit card, you call in and you say, hey, I don't recognize this transaction, you dispute, and you're not having to float that money. So they're talking about these people who are living on the margins, living paycheck to paycheck, the single moms, whatever. Imagine if that random single mom just gets their debit card jacked and all of a sudden money is taken out, and it's taken like 30 days to resolve that, and they don't have the funds. But, you know, Dave Ramsey, use credit or use cash and debit. Don't worry about credit. We're not going to tell you about all those benefits.
Clear here, John. Lower income consumers are forced to pay higher prices on the goods they buy, but they rarely.
But if they actually got in the credit card game, then they're not really forced to pay those higher prices, or at least they're getting back some rewards.
Receive any benefit from rewards programs, according to the Federal Reserve.
They won't.
And so it's been tracking all of this.
Yeah.
And so to put it another way, they say credit card rewards are essentially a tax on less affluent consumers.
But not really. It's not really a tax on less affluent consumers if the less affluent consumers would get in the credit card game and start earning rewards. I mean, it's been really life-changing. I've been able to go on trips that I would never pay out of pocket for. I've been traveling at a much higher rate, where before I got in this game around 2018, maybe I'd go on 1 or 2 trips a year. But now, since I have high points balances in so many programs, it's like it's not really an issue to travel. I don't have to worry about, the one vacation a year. I can't afford this. It's really, really life-changing. And again, I'm not a rich person by any means. So this credit card game really, really, really can boost people from low income to traveling in luxury. People would think, I won't be able to do this because I don't have much money. But actually, you can if you get involved in the game. So it's not really accurate to say, it's this wealth transfer, it's this tax on low-income people, when the low-income people can get in the game and profit. And I would think that like a trip or an extra $500 sign-up bonus would be more appealing to low-income people than it would be higher-income people. You got someone working maybe 10 or 15 at the local Panera Bread, 10 or 15 an hour, and they can rack up sign-up bonuses, they can rack up points, get travel benefits. That's more valuable to them, I would think, than the person who's making like $100K, $200K a year salary. But let's hear some more. Dave Ramsey, the Dave Ramsey Show, not gonna help those low-income people with credit. They're just gonna say stay away.
Who are much more likely to pay for the goods with cash, debit cards, or standard credit products that accrue no such rewards.
Correct. So, no rewards.
You have people have a lot of opinions about this.
Yes.
But across the aisle politically, I mean, NPR and Vox and New York Times, they're covering the same thing, going, "Hey, this isn't innocent."
Someone's gonna lose. It's not innocent because some people are paying interest. Okay, so we shouldn't play because some people are losing?
Someone is paying for this, and it's either the small business owner or the single mom. But you can't act like this is just an innocent, I'm just going to reap the rewards. Your free vacation came from somewhere, and we have to at least acknowledge that.
Yeah, I think everything's going to really come from somewhere. I mean, the T-shirt I made in Bangladesh or China, can I really be totally away from this system that they're lamenting? And in fact, how many people are subscribing to the Dave Ramsey Show for financial advice when they're living paycheck to paycheck and spending like $70 on a wallet from Rachel Cruz, one of the Dave Ramsey personalities? So this predatory thing can often be turned on them as well. But let's hear some more.
That's right. And if you and God bless you if you can sleep at night.
Yep.
knowing that.
God bless capitalism. I mean, it's giving people the opportunity to make money on their own rather than being forced into some other economic system. As the Dave Ramsey Show is definitely profiting from other people supporting their services. So it's not, I wouldn't say that Ramsey Show is 100% culpable or predatory or anything like that. It's an exchange of a service for money. Isn't that what Dave Ramsey likes? I thought that was the case, but we're just going to apply these different standards to credit card companies.
I pay my bills, I do my thing, so
pay your bills, do your thing, and earn the rewards. Pay it in full, don't pay interest, rack up the rewards.
That's. I mean, if your conscience can carry that weight,
yes, it can.
And even if you don't have a conscience, every single piece of data shows
that we don't have a conscience. All right, so let's hear every single piece of data
that you spend more when you use a credit card.
Right.
Not necessarily. I mean, some people might, but if you can be mindful about it, if you could say, hey, look, I'm not going to that steakhouse because I don't feel the steakhouse is worth $100. Like, look, if I have $1,000 cash in my wallet, I'm still not going to the steakhouse. If I have the $10,000, $15 credit lines, I'm still not going. I don't see it to be worthwhile. So I'm being mindful. I'm thinking, what must be traded for what? What is the value of this thing? You're always going to spend more because you have credit. That's just totally false. Maybe some people, but surely not all. Not the people that I'm talking to are in the hobby. They're using it to augment the spending they're already doing. They're not spending more just because they have credit. So it's like this fatalistic idea, oh, if you have plastic in your pocket, you're going to go nuts and you're going to spend more money. It's just not true.
Every piece of data.
Every piece of data, except for all the guests that I've had on my show, except for all the people who win in the hobby, except for people who embrace the frugal lifestyle, people who embrace financial independence, retire early, even for people who might want like a more luxurious lifestyle. Like they're already spending that anyway. So you introduce credit, so all of a sudden it's going to be ruin and lifestyle creep, lifestyle inflation. I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Regardless, if you're saying, hey, I'm going to use I'm going to use my card for everything to get these rewards.
Correct.
The chances are you overspent to where the rewards were negligible.
Right. I don't think so. And they're not really telling you the full story here. And this was a criticism where Dave Ramsey was saying, you need to spend $100,000 on your Discover card to get 1,000 back. But they're not telling you, look, you can sign up for various cards, get the welcome bonuses, spend $3,000 in 90 days, get 60,000 points. Like, it's not just this 1% thing with negligible rewards. They're not talking about maximizing the game at all. And again, we're not necessarily overspending. I'm certainly not. When I'm going to Vegas and I'm going to CVS using my $10 Care Pass reward to get some deli items, I got some haters. Oh, you didn't go to the Vegas restaurant. Oh, you should have gone to Hell's Kitchen instead. Go to this steakhouse, spend all this money. No.
You maybe got $1,000 in rewards.
Yeah.
You spent more than $1,000.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's the money that we're spending anyway. Look, my auto insurance is coming up. I'm going to put that on a credit card. Like, oh, you have to spend money to get the rewards. It's an inaccurate framing of what's going on.
You were if you were going to use a debit card on a budget.
Or
using cash.
Budget.
So here.
Well, people who are using cash are still spending the money. Imagine how many people just go to a bar and put a $20 bill on the bar, and it's like, oh, well, I'll just spend because that's my tab. That's how much I'll put on, and I'll just use all the money. Maybe not the case with cash, but also maybe not the case with credit. So why don't we talk about a person-to-person thing? You're talking about like all the stats show it, but I'm not really seeing that. We see all these papers here, but we haven't heard this in this video. It's like, oh, all the studies show it. You're spending more if you have credit. But what about the people who are just using credit for business purposes? Like I sell things on eBay. I'm using credit to buy things and resell them. And I'm happy to do that on credit rather than floating my own cash. So yeah, I'm spending money, but not really. If I can buy something for $150, sell it for $200 or more, yeah, I'm spending $150, but I'm making money on that transaction. And then there are things that I just have to pay anyway that I can put on credit. It's just the lifestyle essentials, a little bit of entertainment here and there.
To me, the cornerstone rule is opt out of the system.
Opt out of the system.
Oh man, this is like Matrix style stuff. But
we're just opting out Matrix style because some people pay interest. We're just not going to use credit at all. We're going to miss out on all the flights, all the hotel rooms, all the benefits, all the purchase protections, and everything. We're going to give up that independence. Opt out of the system because some people lose.
Opt out of the system.
I haven't had a credit card in 10 years, and I can unequivocally say my life has been better for it.
Okay, but my life has been tremendously better as have many of my podcast guests, many people that I chat with in the hobby, because they're saving money, they're making money, they're traveling at low cost. So host, if you're such a financial expert, then why don't you beat the system? Why don't you use these points? And if you really feel that there's some moral thing, why don't you engage in some moral offsetting? Some people talk about that. Look, I took a flight and that's harming the environment in some way, so I'm going to go ahead and donate to this charitable cause. Like, what are we going to do? Just live in the woods and not consume, not use any technology because there's some kind of problem somewhere in the world? But that land used to be land of someone else, so why don't you give up that too? Like, it's just, are they really arguing for this like extreme altruism here, that you shouldn't do anything? Or is like, the credit cards are a special kind of bad, so definitely stay away from that. Like, how are we going to stay away from anything? Like, who made that mug there? Were there some child labor involved in that? Or were people paid a very low wage to make that mug? Should we use that too? Like, where's it going to end?
No question.
Not once have I wondered, well, they've got 5% cash back on restaurants this month, so I'm going to switch the card. I was hanging...
Yeah, like, what's so hard about doing that, by the way? Like, I have the Amex Gold card. It gives me 4X. And look, I have a pocketbook where I carry my extra cards with me. So when I'm ready for certain expenses, I can just use that card for the expense. Or even better yet, Dave Ramsey Show must love this. The Altitude Reserve card, when used for mobile pay, is just an app on my phone. Or I can use my smartwatch to use mobile pay. And I get 4.5% back no matter where I go, as long as mobile pay is involved. It's really not difficult. Like, they make it out to seem like, I don't have to worry about which card to use. Like, is it really that difficult to have a list or memorize which cards bonus what where? Like, is it really taking you that much time to figure out which card to use where? Or even if you just use a 2% card everywhere, it's still better than getting 0 back. I mean, come on.
Hanging out with some guys the other night. They're all personal finance, influencer type guys.
Perfect. Yeah.
And they're all showing me the different cards. And this one's made...
They know what they're doing. They're in the game and they're profiting from it. They're these personal finance influencers. They understood there's value in this. There's value in signing up for these cards and using these different cards rather than using cash or debit.
3 inches of metal, and I get this much.
Yeah, I don't really care if a card is made of metal. I mean, if a card is made of cardboard that has the meg strip on it or whatever, I'm still using it. Ooh, metal. Oh, well, it's marketing. Whatever. I don't care.
Rewards. And I'm like, guys, you make millions of dollars. How much...
Yeah, so they make millions of dollars, and they're still finding it to be valuable. Why would they not do it? Why not get an extra 4X on dining rather than using cash or debit and getting nothing?
Money do you get back in rewards? They were like, I probably get $2,000 worth of value.
Okay, well I don't think that's the case. If they're using multiple cards, I think they're getting a lot more, and $2,000 is still more than 0.
I went, so you're playing this game for $2,000 worth of value, and you make millions.
Yeah, so it's extra money. And how much effort is it really to sign up for a card, get the card in the mail, activate it? Like, it's really not. And people like me see this as a hobby. It's a fun thing to do. So are you making money when you're playing a video game? Are you making money when you're watching a movie? Like, there are some things that I like doing that I can make money on, and I think that makes it more valuable. If you don't think it's up to you, you don't think it's worth it, I guess don't do it. But if these personal finance influencers are making all this money, then they see this to be worth it. So you're laughing at them, you make $1 million and you're only getting 2,000. But there's a lot more than 2,000 if you have a lot of cards, and 2,000 is still more than 0.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy money. It's really, really easy money.
Crazy. I mean, when you put it that way, you go, is
it's
it
like
worth?
real life Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons. Oh no, how bad, dude? D&D. Oh, so weird. It's like high school bullies here. Oh, D&D. Well, guess what? If I could put my +4 ring of groceries and +4 ring of dining and all these other categories, then great. Why not optimize? This is like a real life RPG. Why not optimize? Why not maximize? Oh, the dirty little secret. Some people are losing, so therefore you shouldn't play the game. I'm just not buying it.
Getting paid $200 a month to overspend and play this game.
No, are they really overspending? You're saying they're making all this money, so clearly they're not overspending. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be able to do this.
And support this system. Yeah. It's just not worth it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy money. If the you gotta ask questions, like if these millionaires are doing it and they're making money, then surely they see it to be valuable. So like, what was their argument? We're not hearing about it here. It's like, you make all this money, it's not worth it. Well, look, they make a lot of money. They think it's worth it. And if it can be worth it for them, then surely it can be worth it for these low-income people that they bemoaned as, oh, they're getting taken advantage of, they're duped. Like, this could be a way to get people out of that low income. But they won't want to talk about that.
I'm out. I opt out of the system.
He's opting out. He doesn't want the easy money. He doesn't want the easy rewards. He just finds it to be morally problematic.
The system.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think you can really opt out of the system if you're still having to pay these swipe fees. So either way, you're in the system, unless you could find those merchants that are like cash only. But good luck with that. You know, you're talking about the time. Oh, well, to choose which card to use where, it's so much of an effort. Like, imagine how much of an effort it is to have to put up that cash deposit at the hotel and, you know, pay full price for all the flights. Like, you imagine like a little bit of effort you can play in the points and miles game will save you that time that you're working and making money. We're here, we're making money, we're saving money, we're traveling at next to no cost. So I'm more than happy to engage in this hobby, continue earning the rewards. Yes, some people are losing, but we could hopefully educate those people to start winning and not just opt out of the system because some people are losing money. So thank you for listening. Live reaction, different format here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Happy to hear from you in the comment section. This is Justin from the Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast. Thank you for your time today.